Hi, my name is Jay Keating. I'm responsible for managed services at Green Pages. Director of Customer Service Steve White and I just held a conversation with a number of customers and partners around how companies that we're working with are modernizing their paradigm around help desk services. We're actually calling our service desk these days a help hub, a centralized point where users can go and get support via whatever channel they're interested in. The talk starts really with how over the last century and a half, adoption trends around technology have accelerated incredibly. In fact, if you rewind the clock back to technology that has been introduced prior to 1960, what you'd find are consumers are taking 1, 2, 3, 4 decades in some cases to become fully conversant with and comfortable with the emerging technology. But any technology that's been released, any major technology since 1970 until now, is taking less than a decade for full adoption. That means 90% consumption within U.S. households. Pretty amazing compression in terms of adoption rates. How's that happening? Why is that happening? More importantly, how does that change expectations around support? That's the topic that we explored. If you look back over the long strokes of history, right? I mean, the way that people expected to get support around their technology in the 1800s, face to face. You get in your buggy or on your horse and you went and saw the person that implemented the technology with you, whether it was a mill or a plow or what have you, many days or weeks before you can get support. You look into the 20th century, early part of the 20th century, folks started, of course, adopting telephone-based, same day, same hour response, and then we end that century with email. Today, the expectation is omni-channel, and people are expecting that when I want to have face-to-face conversations, I can have them, but I can also still use telephone. I can use SMS. I can use instant messenger. I can use social media. I can get support from a peer-to-peer expectation as well. And I think it's really important for people that are responsible for service desks to understand that that's an expression from your end users around the preference and the channels that they are most efficient with. And it's very important for us to have the ability to respond to those users across those channels. If you watch our talk, which we're going to provide a link to right here, you're going to see some emerging concepts around how organizations are splitting or bifurcating their support model to encourage in a healthy way peer-to-peer support, as well as still sending break-fix support to a centralized IT organization, and how those centralized IT organizations are using knowledge and how that knowledge is empowering the folks that are on the service desks as well as the end users that engage with them to perform a lot of activities in a self-service fashion. So hopefully you'll stick around and watch the presentation. We think it's interesting, and most importantly, hopefully after you watch the presentation you'll reach out to us and have a conversation around your own experiences and maybe challenge our thinking a little bit. We look forward to it.